Okay, I've got that original capacitor from the Morse on the ESR meter here, and I'm going to test it. And it comes in at 6 ESR of 8.2. I'm going to test the new one. I did want to mention one thing earlier in the other video, is when I was going through the pictures that I took, you can notice, I don't know if it was just flux bubbling up from when the machine was manufactured, but there's like this orange ooze all around here, and that was there before, so I was thinking that that capacitor actually vented or something, but who knows. Okay, I have the one that was in there, the replacement 4.7 at 35. Half an ohm. And 4.7, perfect. I know, now I'm back to the original capacitor. I know that capacitor is bad. Seven ohms. That's high. This adds more confusion. This says the typical guide, it says, that came with that meter. And look at how high the ohms are for a 35 volt 4.7. 24 ohms. Let's go back to that new capacitor again. Okay, and again, these are Nichicon capacitors. Brand new, 4.735. This is 4.7 exact, see, and 0.42 ohms. And you can read what it says about the ESR. Low cost parts are likely to exhibit higher values, still be acceptable. Some capacitor manufacturers exhibit very low ESR. So maybe it is the low ESR of this 4.7. It's a 4.7 at 35. It says 24 ohms, but it's half an ohm. Okay, hold that thought a minute. Okay, we're going to see what the new device here says. 6.7, ESR 8.5. The other meter said 6.7, 8.5. So it's pretty accurate. And 8.5 ohm. That's pretty close to what the other one said. Okay, here we are with the new capacitor. A little higher, well, 0.9 and 4.8. 0.9 and 4.8. Again, pretty close. 4.7 and 0.42 on the other meter here. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to scout around for another 4.7 out of something. I may put this one back in. Okay, here's a 4.7 at 100 out of this thing, whatever this was. So that's a pull. There's the original, and there's the Nichicon. Now the Nichicon is new, as I stated. That's a new capacitor. This, I don't know what the date codes are on this. These date codes, oh, I don't see any. This doesn't appear to be very old. Maybe 05. 105 degree capacitors. In any event, I don't see any written date codes that I can make out. Okay, anyway, enough of that. .81 ohm, 4.7, 1.8. Now, according to our chart here, our typical chart, the higher the voltage, the lower the ESR. So this one at 1.8 is it's higher than the Nichicon, but it's lower than the original. We'll throw this one in here and see what happens. Okay, so just prior, this was tuned to a station. I'm going to check the picture to make sure I have the polarity right. Okay, the polarity is right. So, as I said, this was tuned to a station before, and I'm okay with the way it's tuning. It centers, it nulls the discriminator on a good strong signal, but I don't disagree with the fact that it will benefit from an alignment. It's just, we'll go over that in a second. It's working fine. Stereo separation is good, and for the stereo and everything to be working, it's got to be pretty close, and that's with that 100-volt capacitor in there. So I don't want to keep soldering those pads. I don't want to lift those pads, but I may grab another Nichicon here and see what's up. There's our capacitor, 4.735 PW series. I'm going to have to look into that. They're 105 degree and brand new. Let's test it. I'll test it on this guy here first. 4.8, again very low, 0.87. 0.87. The other one was 0.42. Same capacitor over here. 4.7, 0.39. That's the same range as exactly 4.7. Okay, there it is tacked in. Polarity is correct, and I haven't touched a thing. I'm going to hit the power. I haven't touched the station at all. Nothing. Wait a minute. Volume's down.
Says he's ready to seek a new 6-year term and defend the country from international forces involved in what he described as an elitist right-wing plot.
No stereo.
His comments follow a vote in the pro-government
Maybe this is not the stereo
to
station.
this year's president.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. This works.
Cut from Summer Tour 2018. See the live in concert at
I don't get it.
Atlanta Falcons.
And there's the station that wasn't tuning well. It's still, like I say, this station is right in the backyard, so it comes in on everything. Let's get down here.
A couple dogs and a couple songs.
I get the peak signal with the tuning in the middle. I'm okay with that. See, this one's acting weird. There it goes.
There's one thing I'm sure in this world, it's Taylor Swift and her love for us.
That's
fans,
bizarre.
104.5.
That's enough of that. I'm going to put that in and just till I know more. Okay, there we are, soldered in the top of the board. Polarity is correct. Before I trim the leads, it's right there. No bridging. I solved it. I assumed it was the capacitor. I don't know what is going on here. Peak signal equals centered tuning, so stereo indicator light's annoying me, so I've gone ahead and put it back where it belongs. I'm just using the bulb. I've soldered my leads. I'm near dial strings. This is just tedious stuff. I put my heat shrink over it and we'll be done with this. I've gone ahead and brushed my flux off, so in another 30 years we don't have to worry about the flux eating through the connection here. Okay, and there we have that. We'll tuck these out of the way, put them back. Okay, the stereo light is back in. The tuning I'm fine with. I'll even put the mute on.
Tuxedo. Riley, we appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks. If you want.
Tuning centers. I'm going to try it in a quieter location. But for right now, I'm pleased with it. Until a FM signal generator falls in my lap,
Last year, and never
I can use a I have the 415 or an HP 8640, but I think, when I dig that stuff out, I may throw some 10.7. Maybe not at this one, but again, let me look at this circuit one more time, okay? Now, what I want to go over is what I know. Again, no schematic, no nothing on this thing, but as far as I can tell, is our oscillator, first, second, third IF. For the AM, this won't have anything to do with the FM. And AM I really don't care about right now. These are those highly accurate capacitors here. This has to be the FM section over here. There's a couple coils, one coil, one adjustable slug in the tuner there. AM, FM. So, okay, I'm going to start here. FM, I don't know who he is, and I don't know who he is. And I may wet these. One thing I'm going to do before I finish, I'm going to wet these phenolics on those two controls. I'm not going to spray them, I'm just going to wet them. And this Toco, this is a filter, I know that, but I was thinking it was for FM, but I'm leaning more towards AM. And again, no information on it other than it does exist. It is what it is. And that number does come up, but it doesn't come up too much. So FM is over here. I'm not too worried about it. I'm just happy that it's working. I do believe this is the FM ceramic filter right there. Orange, that signifies something there. This is just a little op amp. Again, I think here's where we want to be in if we were going to be tweaking, but I'm not tweaking right now. Again, I'm going to move on to the amplifier. I put the stereo light in. It's a little bright than the rest. I may revisit that a little down the road. Again, I'm just happy the way it tunes for now. And what I'm going to look into is I seem to have I like these. We'll go back to the Scott here. Maybe if this is similar enough, which I doubt, what we'll hope, I can play with this a little bit, experiment. Also, over here we have a couple of these Nicos here, and these also have the signal and tuning meters. So this was a thing then. So I'd rather work on something. This was missing its knobs. I just put some knobs on that fit it. This I really don't care too much about. And the bass control, one of these controls is broken. The volume, the bass. I think it's the bass that just turns around and around. No, one of these has a bad control. They've been all, this poor thing's been, is it the balance? Yeah, the balance control. Anyway, enough of that. It does have the tuning meter. Similar design. Maybe I can find one close enough that got copied into the Morse. Again, I'll just do one shot of the FM section here. Again, there's two transistors and a coil under the can on the top right. AM is on the right. It appears FM is over on the left. I just have a little deoxit in a syringe, and I'm simply going to wet the phenolics and let that absorb like a sponge. I'm not turning these, I'm not spraying anything. I saw this and I like this idea. It works very, very well. Just wet the phenolic and it absorbs it like a sponge.
Complimentary bottle of Nugenics. Samples are not available in stores. Text STAY to...
The light drizzle, and overnight we could see some freezing rain. But, you know, the low temperature are going to be hovering right above the freezing mark. So, you know, hopefully we don't wake up tomorrow morning like we did this morning. You know, everything was just kind of iced over. And then coming up tomorrow, the latest forecast from NH1.com, mostly cloudy with a high to 34. And peeking ahead to the weekend, we're going to have temps in the mid to upper 40s. So, you know, we'll take that.
Okay, one final on the radio. I'm going to rock the dial back and forth. I did want to point this out earlier on the pin 3. The writing is kind of blurry, but that does say 5 microfarad on the input. Okay, I've done most of the amplifier except these two here. I don't have those values handy. And again, I'm going to rock the tuning, okay, just to show you how it's performing. Max signal gives me tuning in the middle. So I'm staying out of that side for now. Okay, I'm gonna rock the tuning each side. So max signal gives me tuning centered, so I'm going to leave that section as that for now until I find more information on it, but it's performing quite well to me, to my liking. And I did the amplifier, most of them except 2 values, there and there, which I don't have. So I'll be buttoning this thing up soon. For now, I'm good with it. Okay, one more station.
If I have to claim homeowner's insurance, I'm a crash through my freaking roof. He isn't, as you said,
Max signal, it's right in the middle.
Above my head. What do I claim? Because I'm probably not going to get out of it. Like, we don't cover that.
And then we have the one more. This is pretty crazy.
This works as good as it did, as I remember when it was new, so I'm fine with that.
Or none.
And one more time, this is a distant station over here. Same thing. It centers at the maximum. It's off. It's not off by very much. There's a lot of interference, but one quick check of AM. This is what we get for late night radio here. 2 stations owned by the same outfit, right next to each other, 95.7, 96.1, running the same programming a few seconds apart. One's further away. Two different 95.7, 96.1. Pretty bad state of iHeart. Pretty suggestive lyrics there on this one. I won't even go there. Next we're going to do the main filter capacitors. We're going to put these Nichicon 4763 in place of the 4700 at 35. And I'll just put some rubber or something. I tried to get as close match dimension-wise. I'll just put a strip of something around that. Okay, that's it for now.